Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today we've got a wild lineup of clips ranging from the Angel of Death sightings to never-before-seen footage of possible aliens entering our atmosphere that will blow your mind. Ready? Well, let's dive right in. This was recorded by a homeowner who had noticed his motion sensor had been going off at odd hours. Wondering what the reason was, he set up a camera to catch whoever or whatever was triggering it. Late one night, with the camera positioned at the far end of his property, he finally captured something. In the footage, the scene is mostly clear land with the house a few meters away. But as you watch, a faint ghostly figure appears, almost like a person pacing back and forth in the yard. It's unsettling because it isn't just fog or smoke, the shape and movement are distinct, like a transparent person moving repeatedly through the same spot. He was convinced the alarms were set off by this being or person and decided to share his findings online. Aaron, our residential conspiracy theorist and paranormal expert, believes this is a genuine capture of a ghost. But what say you?
And it would take us hours to cross from way over there.
Moving on, we visit the remote landscapes of Alberta, Canada, where a man captured footage of something strange in the barren terrain with only a few scattered structures in sight. At a distance, he spotted a dark, large figure moving quickly across the open land. Despite being far away, the creature's size and speed were noticeable as it took long, powerful strides. The location itself is hard to access, raising even more questions about what could be navigating such an isolated area. The man believes he witnessed a Bigfoot. While many online believe and side with him, there are a number who think that this just doesn't add up. Some even criticized his inability to keep the camera in frame, citing it as evidence that it's false. But then again, if the individual is watching the creature and filming at the same time, that could happen. Disclaimer, I'm not siding with him, I'm just sharing an observation. But what do you think, though?
And it would take us hours to cross from way over there.
I have two unusual clips from residents in different parts of the US who had captured eerily similar incidents just days apart. Take a look. The first clip was recorded by a security camera in Los Angeles, and it shows the front of a house and car. Early in the morning, before sunrise, a strange sequence unfolds. First, the sound of something falling from above, followed by a loud bang and a blinding flash that lights up the area for a brief moment. Although the camera doesn't capture the sky, the flash's intensity is reflected in the surroundings. Next, we visit Albuquerque, New Mexico, where another home security camera captured an almost identical event just days later. Positioned in the driveway, this camera shows the neighborhood view when a similar loud crash and bright flash occur. This time, however, all the car alarms in the vicinity go off, creating a chaotic scene with multiple vehicles sounding their alarms in response to the mysterious impact. With no clear explanation yet, various theories are circulating, with some suggesting that these are UFO crash landings, meteor impacts, or perhaps secretive technological tests. What do you think? In this footage, this man, camping alone in the woods, thought he'd found a peaceful spot for the night. He had everything set up, and as he finally laid down, he began to hear strange noises echoing from outside his tent. At first, he heard distant howlings, which was unsettling enough, but then he started to pick up on something else, another noise that didn't quite fit with the sounds of wildlife. Feeling a deep unease, he decided to check it out. He unzipped his tent and shone his flashlight into the dark forest. His light caught a figure standing by a nearby tree, partially hidden in the shadows. The figure didn't resemble any animal, and its form was eerily human-like, yet somehow not quite right. Within a few seconds, he hears what sounds like the voices of children, and it sends chills down his spine. That's not something you expect. Given the fact that this clip was eventually uploaded, it means he survived, but you have to wonder, what did he just encounter? Many individuals online are convinced it could be the spirit of a child. A number are also skeptical about the whole thing, and then there's Julius, our in-house science whiz and non-believer in the paranormal, who is convinced that everything in the clip is a paid actor. But what do you guys think?
Mommy, a girl behind you.
What are you?
In this footage, an elderly man is out camping with his daughter and granddaughter, enjoying a cozy bonfire one night. As the man circles the fire, adding wood and paper to keep the flames going, his daughter casually films him, and then she notices something strange. There, in the shadows, is an odd figure seemingly following him around the fire. The young granddaughter's voice breaks the stillness as she too points it out, saying there's a girl following him. The figure appears briefly in the camera's view, moving in sync with the man. Julius thinks it's just a reflection from the fire, but Aaron believes there's something more to it. Given that even the little girl noticed it, what are your thoughts? Is it simply a trick of the light? Or is there something else, something more mysterious lingering by the fire?
Mommy, a girl behind you.
What are you?
A man was out on the open sea when he spotted something chilling within one of the waves. It was an alien-like face with glowing eyes, staring straight back at him. Just look at that face, not something you'd expect to see out there. The ocean holds countless mysteries, and sightings like this remind us just how eerie and unknown its depths truly are. But what could this creature be? Some speculate it could be a form of marine life we haven't discovered, while others wonder if it's something supernatural. I know what my money's on. But what's yours? On October the 27th, two women, one in Wyoming and the other in Yukon, Canada, captured an intriguing sight in the sky. Well, why is this a big deal? Well, both filmed this phenomenon at nearly the same time. Take a look.
Is it a fire jet or is it a plane that's crashing?
That is so wild.
Yeah, that's definitely.
What is happening?
It's going straight. It's going straight down.
What? A meteor.
Jets don't do that.
Meteor.
Ooh, don't say that.
It's a meteor.
The footage shows something falling from the sky, appearing almost golden as it glows against the atmosphere, resembling a meteor. But the unusual brightness and the controlled, smooth descent make many wonder if it's something else entirely. Unlike meteors, which tend to streak through the sky with intense speed, this object appears to be moving at a controlled speed. This has got many talking and wondering if perhaps it's a manned craft or at least a controlled one. The theories are running wild, and I don't mind hearing what you think.
What is
It's
happening?
going straight. It's going straight down.
What? A meteor.
Jets don't.
The internet has a ton of bizarre content, but some clips are so strange they seem impossible to explain. Take this one, for instance. A man was casually walking down a path when he noticed something suspicious approaching him. To play it safe, he decided to record pretending to be on a call. And then something unbelievable happened. Within just a few seconds, the person approaching him appeared to transform into a dog and then ran off. I know editing software and AI can produce effects like this, but the transformation looked so smooth and seamless that it's hard to believe it's fake. Aaron believes we're dealing with a shapeshifter. A part of me really wishes that's really it. Since the pandemic, people have been seeking ways to manage the stress and anxiety that took a toll during the lockdown, and the wellness industry has responded big time. From emotional release retreats to unconventional therapies, it's exploded into a sector raking in millions yearly. The surprising part, some of the treatments seem so unusual and expensive that they almost feel out of reach for the average person. Take the example of the $10,000 hot tub experience. A group of men floating in water, some crying, some screaming. It's called primal therapy, designed to help people release deeply buried emotions. Then there's a $4,000 retreat in the woods where women scream and vent their rage, supposedly letting out built-up anger and stress. There are even forest bathing retreats, some healing sessions and energy cleanses that seem to draw large crowds, all with hefty price tags. The big question is, are these high-ticket treatments really worth it? Some would argue that if it's helping people reconnect with themselves to heal emotionally, well, maybe it's a good investment. But there's also a growing belief that these retreats are cashing in on people's vulnerability, offering flashy, sometimes extreme experiences that may not be more effective than traditional therapy. Aren't they taking this wellness thing a bit too far? A man was exploring some remote mountain areas on Google Earth when he stumbled upon something shocking. Tucked behind a large rock formation was a figure. It was the head and shoulders of what looked like an ape-like humanoid. The creature had dark fur, and its profile revealed a jawline and facial structure that seemed almost human but distinctly different, with an ape-like nose, wrinkles, and thick fur covering most of its visible body. It looked more human than an ape in its posture, but unmistakably wild and mysterious in its features. So what exactly is this? Could this be a glimpse of Bigfoot, or maybe even a new species similar to it?
Yo, what the is that? No mames. That shit's going off fast. That's not a person at all, bro.
A man who was working in a field had decided to take a break. While he sat down, something unusual caught his eye just behind his tractor that was across from him. In the foggy field, a figure could be seen running from afar, moving quickly. But here's where things get strange. The figure passed behind the tractor and never reappeared on the other side. It just vanished. The man described the figure as humanoid, yet it moved with an unnatural stride, almost too fast to be human. What could it have been?
Hey, yo, what the is that? No mames. That shit's going off fast. That's not a person at all, bro.
A man from the Czech Republic shared a bizarre video he filmed after waking up one morning to see a long white streak rising straight up into the sky. At first glance, it looked like a contrail, like something from a jet, but then he moved the camera down and saw it was coming right out of his neighbor's chimney. Now, this isn't your usual chimney smoke. It's thin, bright white, and shoots up in a perfectly straight line, almost as if it's being pushed with force. Unlike the typical billowing grayish smoke you'd expect from a chimney. It's an unsettling sight, and you can't help but wonder what on earth could this neighbor be burning or cooking to produce smoke like this. A man was in the woods when he noticed something unusual moving in the distance. It didn't look human, so he hid behind a tree and took out his camera to capture the creature as it walked by. Take a look as it moves through the trees. The figure was humanoid, standing around 6 feet tall, but it had a distinct hunch along its upper back with dark fur running from the back of its head down to its lower back. What's even stranger is what the creature was carrying. A satchel, strolling by without noticing the man filming. The witness said it had the stature and look of a human, yet it wasn't exactly human. Some say there are wild humans or even feral people living deep in the forests, completely removed from modern society. Could this mysterious creature be one of them? A family living in the Appalachian Mountains shared a truly unsettling experience they had one night. While everyone was in bed, a knocking sound echoed through the living room, jolting the family awake. Too frightened to all go down, they sent the father to check. He cautiously made his way downstairs, filming as he went. When he reached the living room, he realized the noise was coming from the window. There, just outside the glass, was a creature. Its appearance was chilling. It had sunken, dark eyes and pink wrinkled skin. It was hard to make out in the darkness, but from what they could see, the sight was scary enough. The creature was tapping its head against the window as if trying to get in. The Appalachian Mountains are known for tales of eerie creatures and ghostly figures lurking in the shadows, but this sighting feels like something else. What do you think it could be? This next footage comes from Peru, where a woman and her group of friends had an encounter.
¿Qué es eso? Escúchame, trata de acercarlo con mi cámara.
Camila, estamos viendo mucho fruto.
While out one night, they spotted something perched high in a huge tree. It was a pair of glowing eyes staring down at them in the darkness. The creature itself remained hidden by the night, with only its piercing eyes visible. But it made a sound unlike anything they'd ever heard. It was not the call of a monkey, not the hoot of a bird, but something altogether unusual. Strangely enough, it didn't appear aggressive, it was just watching. What kind of creature do you think this could be?
¿Qué es eso? Escúchame, trata trata de acercarlo con mi cámara.
Camila, estamos viendo mucho fruto.
Here we have footage from a man who spotted something lurking in the woods across the field he was standing on.
I just seen something over in the woods, Chris, and I don't know if you can see this or not. Do you see that? Do you see that?
It shows a massive furry figure moving back and forth on two legs, shifting as though it's watching him. This creature towers at an estimated height of around 8 feet with broad shoulders and a sturdy build, too large and upright to resemble a typical animal. Could it be a Bigfoot, or maybe even the elusive Dogman? Share your thoughts, especially if you were like Julius and think it's just a hoax.
I just seen something over in the woods, Chris, and I don't know if you can see this or not. Do you see that? Do you see that?
Lab-grown meat has been approved for sale, and it's been hailed as a sustainable alternative to traditional meat production. But what does this mean for all the cattle, chickens, and other animals raised for food? Are we transitioning entirely to lab meat, or will traditional animal farming continue? The idea behind lab-grown meat, also known as cultured meat, is to reduce the need for animal farming, which could help lower greenhouse gas emissions and lessen animal suffering. But is it safe? Lab-grown meat is produced by taking cells from animals and growing them in a nutrient-rich medium, often involving fetal bovine serum extracted from unborn calves. To prevent contamination in the lab environment, lab-grown meats require antibiotics and other chemicals, but that doesn't seem like a healthy and safe option for humans to consume. It is like we are saving the cows in the environment, as they put it, but at our own risk.
The entrance of the secret cave that goes into Disneyland. Now, if this works and it actually does go into Disneyland, I have an annual pass, so I'm not trying to steal admission. Here goes.
There have been numerous theories and rumors surrounding Disneyland, from secret tunnels and hidden rooms to mysterious passageways. One recent claim comes from a man who says he found an entry into one of these alleged tunnels. Though he doesn't disclose the exact location, he decides to investigate it for himself. He follows the tunnel, and surprisingly, it leads him underground to a child's restroom in Disneyland. If we are to believe him, what could be the purpose of these hidden passages? Could there be a more practical explanation, or is it part of something bigger? Here's another eerie encounter to think about. A woman was attending a mass, and while the priest read the passage about the death of Jesus, something strange happened. The head of Jesus' statue on the cross began to move, tilting slowly downward, almost as if acknowledging the sorrowful moment. What makes this especially eerie is that the statue is made of solid concrete, so it shouldn't have any mobility, let alone the ability to move in sync with the priest's words. Was this a supernatural sign, a message, or just an odd occurrence?
The tattoo chicken's pretty good, actually.
Humans really do seem to be getting weirder by the day. Check this out. A woman went into a store just to pick up some chicken when she stumbled across a tattooed chicken. Yeah, you heard that right. The skin of the chicken had been tattooed. Now, seriously, what in the world is this supposed to be? Some kind of culinary art or just a bizarre novelty? Are these drawings even safe to eat? And just the thought of someone handling the chicken like that, pressing ink onto the skin. Phew, yikes. Who would even try it? Or is this a solid nope on your shopping list?
The Texas chicken's pretty good, actually.
This video was taken by a woman attending a business meeting. Afterwards, she recorded one of her colleagues without noticing anything unusual at the time. But when they rewatched the footage, things took a strange turn. A colleague, who was a woman with long, dark hair wearing a blue vest, was seen walking away with her back turned. Then as she turned slightly to the left to glance over her shoulder and smile, something bizarre happened. Her body seemed to glitch. Her entire front appeared to swap with her back, almost as if her body had turned without her actually moving. And then it happened again. The sight has sparked a heated debate. Some argue it's just a clever video edit, but skeptics believe it may show something truly unsettling, like the sign of a shapeshifter. What do you think? During a recent SpaceX rocket launch, one of the onboard cameras captured something strange in the footage. Take a close look. In the corner on the left side of the screen, there's a winged figure hovering near the rocket. It appears humanoid in shape with large defined wings. The figure only stays visible for a brief moment before retreating from the frame. What could this possibly be? Some believe it was the Angel of Death that perhaps changed its mind midway launch. Others suggest it might be a large bird that happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. The Angel of Death bit sounds very interesting, but what do you think? A homeowner set up a motion-activated camera inside her house, hoping it would capture any unusual movement. When she reviewed footage from the cam later, she stumbled upon a chilling scene. In the middle of the night, a hazy figure appeared slowly descending the staircase. The upper part looked like a head with long, dark hair trailing behind it as if blown by an invisible wind. The rest of the figure seemed almost transparent, yet it was clear there was a distinct shape moving down the stairs. Shocked and unnerved, the woman couldn't explain what she saw, as she'd never experienced anything like it in her home. Could this be a spirit? A trick of the light, or something else entirely? Next, we've got another woman who found some bizarre footage on a security camera set up just outside her home. In the video, a massive creature roughly the size of a moose approaches a doorstep. The creature is covered in all white fur with unusually long and thick paws. Its face has a strange, almost otherworldly look resembling an anteater in shape, but not covered in fur, and its mouth is elongated, though not quite as long as that of an anteater. It's hard to tell if this is a real creature caught on camera or if it could be AI generated. If it's authentic, we could be looking at a completely unknown species or perhaps even a rare genetic mutation in an animal we already know. Here we have yet another intriguing piece of footage, this time from Japan. This object is seen from a distance, resembling a meteorite falling toward Earth. As it approaches, it glows brighter and brighter. Just look at that. You can even see its reflection glistening across the sea below. It shines intensely for a moment, lighting up the night sky, and then, just as mysteriously as it appeared, it vanishes back into the darkness. If this and all the other meteorite clips we've seen are true, should we be worried? Why are a lot of them suddenly falling a lot to the Earth, especially now that we are visiting space a lot? Something to think about. Wouldn't you agree? Humans are really getting creative lately, especially with designer pet breeds. This little guy here, called a Fruital, is a mix of a French bulldog and a poodle. It's cute, but it's part of a much bigger trend of hybrid breeds popping up everywhere. These breeds are often a mix of two popular purebreds blending traits from each. In this case, the Fruital gets the playfulness and loyalty of a French bulldog with the intelligence and low shedding cost of a poodle. The idea is to create pets that combine the best of both worlds in terms of personality, appearance, and even hypoallergenic qualities. But as adorable as they are, the mixture is not beneficial for the animals. Sometimes hybrid breeds can inherit health issues from both parent breeds, which can complicate their care.
Oh, check this out. There's a full bed right here. Look at this. All this stuff is matted down, literally matted down. I can't roll off this thing left or right. Literally couldn't do it. Let me have that camera. You see how this is all, it's a dish. It's literally a place to lay down. It's clearly been slept in. It's been inhabited.
This next footage comes from a man named Russell Accord, who ventured deep into the woods on a Bigfoot hunt. While exploring, he came across something unusual. In a large tree, he found this thick layer of twigs and branches woven together, almost like a giant bird's nest, and it wasn't just one, there were multiple similar nests spread around the area. Russell believes these structures are a telltale sign of Bigfoot's presence. These nest-like formations are for sleeping, especially for mother Bigfoots for their offspring. What do you make of this?
You see how this is all, it's a dish. It's literally a place to lay down. It's clearly been slept in. It's been inhabited.
This diver just emerged from the water with an unexpected hitchhiker. A stubborn octopus latched onto his back. No matter how much he tries to pull it off, it simply won't budge. Octopuses have strong suction cups that allow them to cling to surfaces with surprising strength, so it's no surprise this little guy isn't letting go easily. Looks like the diver might have made a new, very clingy friend.
Déjalo que suba hasta la cabeza y te lo quitas, hombre. Porque ahí se te va a coger todo.
When it comes to the supernatural, some people don't take it seriously, even going so far as to playfully summon forces they don't fully understand. If you're one of those, this next footage might make you think twice. A young man, apparently as a joke, invited a demon into his home one evening and didn't think much of it. Later at night, he woke to a terrifying sight. This massive, shadowy figure was lurking in the corner of his room. Its body was dark and hazy, shaped like a massive dog standing upright on two legs with piercing, glowing eyes locked directly on him. Panicked, he reached for his phone to record what he was seeing, unsure if it was real or just a trick of the mind. But even through the camera, the figure was still there, unmoving and watching. In a last-ditch effort, he grabbed a crossbow and fired at the creature before fleeing his house in sheer terror. Whether this footage is real or just a hoax, it serves as a stark reminder to not mess with things you don't understand. There's always a chance that something might answer back. This next video is unsettling to say the least. A woman concerned for her son set up a security camera in his room after he repeatedly told it there was a monster keeping him up at night. Hoping to ease his fears, she managed to get him to bed, but what was captured next would leave any parent shaken. In the dead of night, the door suddenly creaks open on its own. Then, from seemingly nowhere, a figure appears at the foot of his bed. It looks like a terrifying woman dressed in dark tattered robes, her face obscured but unmistakably eerie. The creature quietly peels back the covers and then begins to pull the boy toward the edge of the bed. The child jolts awake, screaming in terror, and the footage cuts off. It's hard to say what's more disturbing, the figure itself or the fact that the monster is real. Have you ever wondered what insects really look like up close? Sure, we're much bigger than them, but when you zoom in on their faces, it's downright haunting. Take a look at the close-up of an ant's face. Those sharp mandibles, those alien-like eyes. It almost looks like something straight out of a horror movie. And here's another shocker. This is the face of a tapeworm. Hideous, right? Those tiny, squirmy creatures actually look so terrifying when magnified. Honestly, it's probably for the best that they stay as tiny as they are. This next one is a capture from a paranormal group I was gifted the opportunity to be a part of. I don't need to tell you what this creature is, do I? It was captured on a trail cam of one of the participants of the group. According to him, he's encountered this being before and has barely escaped with his life. He was out exploring the woods when it got dark. In his bid to get home, he took a shortcut, and that's where his woes began. He felt the creature stalk and follow him. He couldn't tell, but it had dark fur and a menacing growl. He tried running away and eventually stumbled. That's when the creature revealed itself in its full glory. Once he saw its sharp teeth, he knew he was a goner until a party of hunters came his way with its sharp teeth. The only reason he escaped with his life was because there was a party of hunters heading his way. The creature heard them and retreated, yet no one would believe his story. This is why he fixed the trail cams. It took a year and some months, but he finally had his proof and wanted the world to see it. At least that's what he said. Some people believe his story, while some think it's just AI imagery with a lot of lies. You have seen the capture yourself now. What do you make of it? This mysterious clip has had the whole paranormal community talking. I mean, it's not often you see a creature like this moving across a river in the heart of the woods. What creature is it? Well, if you have been on this page long enough, then you definitely know I'm going to call that out to be a Bigfoot. I mean, the bipedal form and the fur are dead giveaways. The question is, where was this taken, and was it alone? So here's a rather spine-tingling story captured by a street security camera in a quiet town. In the dead of night, this video shows a girl dressed in a white gown, but her movements are far from ordinary. She's walking in a strangely crouched position, adding an unsettling aura to her presence. As she gets closer, things take a very strange turn. The girl suddenly crouches down even further, and then, in the blink of an eye, she just vanishes into the ground, as if the earth itself swallowed her up. Creepy, right? But that's not the end of it. After her disappearance, another girl emerges, and guess what? She repeats the whole unnerving act, crouching and vanishing into the ground. Now, what's perplexing is that they appear to be the same person caught in a bizarre, inexplicable loop. This weird and mysterious reoccurrence raises a whole bunch of questions. What could the story behind this eerie, repetitive apparition be? In the hidden depths beneath the endless waves, a remarkable and awe-inspiring moment unfolds. This intriguing footage appears to have been captured through the lens of a submersible as it encounters a colossal and enchanting creature lurking in the watery abyss. This astonishing sea dweller, often described as a marine monster, boasts the form that defies conventional categorization. With a visual resemblance to a shark but adorned with unusually dull teeth, it presents an appearance akin to a melting candle, its massive size dwarfing everything else in its vicinity. This mesmerizing spectacle evokes both wonder and mystery. It's unlike anything witnessed before, reminding us of the boundless mysteries that the deep oceans hold. The underwater world is a realm where fantastical creatures may still remain hidden from our knowledge, and every discovery like this reminds us of the captivating secrets yet to be unveiled beneath the waves. Share your own thoughts and speculations about this extraordinary sea creature. It's evident that the ocean's mysteries run as deep as the waters themselves. In the eerie depths of an abandoned building, a daring explorer stumbled upon a rather unusual scene.
Bueno, quédense tranquilos.
In the backyard of this building were 5 wooden chairs meticulously arranged in a circle, facing each other. While this may look ordinary to some, something strange occurs in the middle of that circle of chairs. Dried leaves, seemingly guided by an unseen force, twirled in a haunting dance, forming a perfect circle. The unnatural choreography of these leaves raises a chilling question. Was the arrangement of these chairs a purposeful attempt to create a vortex, a mysterious portal, or a focal point for paranormal energy? The concept of a vortex, thought by some to be a swirling gateway between dimensions, could explain the eerie movement of the leaves at the center. Such occurrences are often linked to supernatural events and paranormal activity. Do you think there's something paranormal really happening here, or are we simply overthinking and blowing things out of proportion? Share your thoughts. If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more of these videos for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode.
Oh my god.
A guy captures not one, but 2 moons in the sky, with one trailing behind the other. We're not talking about atmospheric illusions or misty reflections. These are actual moons sharing the celestial space. But how? The truth is, no one knows for certain. Can you help? Julius wants to sit out of this one and wants to see what you guys can come up with. Share your thoughts in the comments section. It was just another day for a couple enjoying a hike and capturing memories with a selfie. Little did they know that something peculiar was unfolding behind them. Upon returning home and reviewing the selfie, they made a spine-chilling discovery. In the background, amidst the forest trees, a bizarre creature was captured, stretching its neck into the frame as if attempting to join in on the couple's selfie. The sheer height of the trees in comparison to the creature suggests that it could be anywhere from 7 to 8 feet tall. Perplexed, the couple couldn't identify the creature and were left to wonder, what exactly did they capture in their photo? Is it a paranormal entity? Share your thoughts. On a blistering hot, sun-drenched afternoon, we've got a spine-tingling tale that'll send shivers down your spine. Check this out. A quaint house basking in the sun's relentless glare. But what's up on that roof? Prepare to be intrigued and maybe a tad horrified. Our footage unveils something both chilling and sinister. It's a towering, hair-covered figure not unlike a creature straight from your worst nightmares, casually sauntering across the roof. But here's where it gets truly hair-raising. This eerie rooftop prowler doesn't seem bothered by the scorching sun. No sunglasses or sunscreen required, apparently. This enigmatic being remains a puzzling riddle, lurking in plain sight. No name, no backstory, just pure mind-bending mystery. It's like the shadowy stuff of late-night horror movies, only it's happening right there under the unforgiving daylight. So let your imagination run wild, dear viewers. What on earth could this creature be, and what in the world is it doing up there? Thoughts? Next, take a look at this footage that was taken from a farmer's trail camera. On a peaceful night at the farm, a single cow stands, appearing captivated by something. As you watch the video, you see the cow's head tracking an unseen presence. Suddenly, a ghostly figure moves by the cow and then vanishes into the night. A closer look at the footage, and you realize that this ghostly figure looks like a man on a horse. But how? How's that even possible? Aaron thinks it might be the ghost of a rider who may have passed on with his horse in that area. Something like your distressed ghost that can't find peace and is condemned to roam the earth until it does. Julius, however, thinks that's false. He thinks it could just be a man on a horse that's out of focus on a night cam capture. To be fair, cameras struggle at night when it comes to low-light conditions and videos, but what are your thoughts on this? A ghost or the result of a not-so-focused camera capturing an individual on a horse? Please do share your thoughts. Here's another video featuring a dinosaur being hauled out of a truck. Unlike the previous video, this creature is noticeably larger and displays a more aggressive demeanor. However, skepticism arises as people question the authenticity of the footage. Upon closer inspection, the creature's movements and anatomy raise doubts about its legitimacy. Many viewers point out the seemingly artificial quality of its legs, almost resembling a costume rather than a living being. If indeed a hoax, the creators have gone to great lengths to craft a convincing spectacle. While the video may be a cleverly orchestrated fake, it sparks contemplation about the enduring mystery surrounding dinosaurs. The fascination with these ancient creatures persists, and even a fictional representation can captivate our imagination. What are your thoughts on this elaborate dinosaur display? In a place that defies familiarity, a bone-chilling spectacle unravels before a bewildered group of onlookers. They've managed to capture a genuinely hair-raising moment that'll send shivers down your spine. Here we are, facing a man who seems to have become a vessel for some unearthly, malevolent force. As the possessed man spirals into a disturbing frenzy, the air fills with his unearthly, hair-raising sounds and ominous warnings. It's as if a sinister omen from the other side has found its way into the realm, casting a sinister shadow over this nightmarish encounter. But what's truly petrifying is how this man, consumed by whatever holds him, vehemently repels anyone attempting to draw near. It's almost like he's fighting off an unseen evil that refuses to release its grip, a struggle that unfolds with terrifying intensity. So here's the bone-chilling question that lingers. Has a malevolent spirit ensnared this man's very soul? Is he held captive by a force so sinister it defies comprehension? Or could this be an elaborate and sinister charade, a performance that blurs the lines between reality and nightmare? There are some who believe it's a hoax, but it's just too chilling and scary to be. An explorer was wandering around the woods on the Isle of the Night, minding his own business, when he noticed something rustling in the leaves nearby. Naturally, he did what any of us would do. He whipped out his camera to document this mysterious occurrence. What he saw next, though, was truly out of this world. A creature emerged from behind the bushes, and it looked like one of those stereotypical aliens we often see in cartoons and movies. You know the ones: green skin, a massive head, and those big, black, unmissable eyes. But here's the kicker. The extraterrestrial visitor didn't stick around for a chat. After a brief appearance, it vanished right back into the darkness behind those same bushes. Oh, and to make things even stranger, there was the unmistakable sound of a chopper hovering above. Now that raises the question, were they after our odd-looking friend, or is there something else going on here? Take a look at this incredible footage. In the video, someone is hiding in their closet while filming what appears to be a fairy flying around the room. Yes, you heard that right, a fairy. The tiny figure flutters over the bed and then goes to open a small pink box left on the bed. It's almost like watching a scene from a fairy tale. The detail in this footage is absolutely amazing. The fairy looks so real, it's hard to believe it could be anything else. But here's the thing. As much as we'd love to believe in real-life fairies, there's a good chance this is CGI. The way the fairy moves and interacts with the objects in the room was incredibly well done, but with today's technology, creating such realistic animations is possible. It's a perfect blend of magic and modern tech. What do you think? A passenger on a flight over Colombia captured this intriguing footage. From her window seat, she noticed a craft flying in the distance. It was cone-shaped with a sleek metallic exterior, reflecting the sunlight in a way that made it look almost otherworldly. As the plane continued its journey, the passenger kept her camera focused on the craft, which seemed to be maintaining a steady speed and altitude parallel to the aircraft. The footage shows the craft hovering smoothly with no visible means of propulsion, no wings, no rotors, nothing that resembled conventional aircraft technology. Enthusiasts and skeptics alike began to analyze the footage, offering various theories. Some suggested it could be an advanced military drone, while others speculated it was a genuine UFO. Which of them is your money on? Let us know in the comments section.
شنو فيه؟ يما وإيش قاعد يصير؟
A woman shared this video she took while hiking near a waterfall. In the video, from a distance, you can see another woman in a pink dress. She seems to be swaying in different poses. It's unclear whether she's dancing or performing some sort of ritual. She continues this for a while, and then, at the end, she moves to the edge of the rock and falls forward into the large flowing waterfall. There's no information about whether she was okay, under the influence of something, or even what exactly was happening. We don't even know how far the fall was, whether it was a short drop or a long, dangerous drop. What do you think could have been going on here? Have you ever wondered how animals communicate verbally, especially bees, with all the buzzing? Well, one curious man decided to experiment with this idea. He took 2 plastic cups, coiled the insides with wire, and joined the bottoms together, creating a sort of makeshift communication device. With this setup, he found a bee minding its own business on the ground. He carefully covered the bee with one end of the cup. Now, instead of hearing the typical buzzing sound you'd expect, what emerged from the other end of the cup was something quite strange, a tiny, almost human-like voice mumbling. It was hard to make out the words, but the sound was eerily similar to human speech, just in a much smaller and distinct form. How is this possible? Could it be the bees have a way of communicating that we haven't fully understood, or was this some kind of auditory illusion created by the makeshift device? I must add that most of the reactions from this clip were laughter, but what if just what if? What you are looking at is called the Rainbow Mountain in Peru. Just look at those vibrant colors all over. When I first saw this, I couldn't believe it was real. I thought it had to be photoshopped or edited in some way. But after doing my own research, I found out this natural wonder is very much real. Rainbow Mountain, also known as Vinicunca, gets its incredible colors from the different mineral deposits in the earth. Over time, these minerals have been exposed to the surface, creating this stunning multicolored landscape. The mountain is part of the Andes and is situated at an altitude of over 5,000 meters, over 16,000 feet, making it a challenging but rewarding hike for adventurers. The colors you see are natural, created by layers of sedimentary mineral deposits. Red from iron oxide, green from chlorite, yellow from sulfur, and even purple from goethite or oxidized limonite. It's like a painter's palette come to life. Here we have another ghostly activity captured by a homeowner. This time the footage comes from a security camera set up in the living room aimed at the staircase leading upstairs. One day, the homeowner received an alert about movement in the house. When she checked the live feed, she saw nothing out of the ordinary. But later, when she reviewed the footage more thoroughly, she noticed something unsettling. Looking closely at the staircase, there's a light, smoke-like entity that appears and then vanishes almost immediately. A commenter suggested that this might be the result of a car driving by with the headlights reflected off of something, and of course Julius agrees with the commenter. Adding to the mystery, there have been previous reports of strange occurrences in this house, lights flickering, doors creaking open on their own, and even cold spots in certain rooms. So what do you think? Could there really be something paranormal at play here?
It's still alive.
Someone bought a pack of leafy greens from the grocery store, and guess what? It came with a live frog inside. How on earth did that happen? There have been plenty of bizarre cases involving our food, but finding live animals in it, oh, that's just a new level of weirdness. You have to wonder, is this some kind of prank, or did this little guy just hitch a ride from the farm? Either way, it's unsettling. If things like this keep happening, we might need to start growing our food just to be safe. Imagine opening a bag of salad and getting a surprise like that. This really makes you question the quality control process. How did the frog make it through all the stages of packaging without anyone noticing? For what it's worth, this might be an indicator that it's natural and organic. Do you believe our world is an illusion? Well, the man speaking in our next clip believes so. Listen.
We live largely in a world of illusions. And in a sense, as we have a physical existence now, all the elements that make it up, all the habits that we have, all the institutions we maintain, the entertainment we choose, the ideas of education we keep, all of these are part of what might be called the obscuration of ignorance, and they are part of the negative individual magnetic field.
He talks about how we live in a negative individual magnetic field that causes us to react to negative factors which eventually become the death of us. Basically, the things around us and the systems we've adopted are nothing more than illusions that are leading to our impending doom. Do you share his sentiments?
This magnetic field, being negative, perpetuates itself from within itself. And little by little, the individual who has gradually become more and more vicious finds that the viciousness increases, until finally he reaches a point where he must change or lose the values of the incarnations through which he has passed.
In this clip, someone captured an odd-looking white formation in the clouds. It's hard to tell exactly what this could be, whether it's white smoke or just an unusual cloud formation. People in the comments had a lot to say about it, and their theories are quite diverse. Some people believe it's a blue beam projection, while others think it might be a rocket hitting the firmament. There's even a mention of a dome, and one person claimed to have seen something similar in Phoenix. But which of these theories could be true? Our friend Julius thinks that these theories are all false and that what we are seeing is simply a cloud formation. He believes it's nothing more than nature doing its thing in a spectacular way. What about you? What do you think? I've got a clip that goes back as far as 2005. This one is definitely going to stir up some conversations. Take a look. So back in 2005, a group of people were walking through the woods when they stumbled upon something extraordinary on the forest floor. I used the word extraordinary sparingly because it didn't look like anything they had seen. In fact, it appeared to be a lifeless alien creature. It looked like it had been dead for a while. Now, I know the footage is blurry and shaky, but bear in mind this is allegedly from 2005. If that's the case, then by today's standards, it makes sense that the clip looks like this. But that also makes it hard to make out all the details due to the quality of the footage. Now, the question on everyone's mind when they shared this footage with them was, if this truly is an alien being, what was it doing on Earth? How did it end up in the middle of the woods? And what happened to it? Also, where is its ship? It's questions like this that made people skeptical about this being true. There's no way the government will find an alien, kill it, and leave it out in the woods. There's also no way an ordinary man would kill an alien and tell no one about it. A wild animal couldn't steal the alien's ship either. The only logical explanation would be that it was killed by its own kind and left out in the wild. But there's no logical reason for them to risk being exposed. It's thoughts and questions like this that have led many to believe this whole thing is probably a hoax. If you've been on this channel, you know how much I love aliens, but this story is one that's hard to get behind. What do you guys think, though? And yes, it did throw a rock at the one filming. Petty, but interesting. Take a look at this. We start with a seemingly ordinary plate of mushrooms, but then all of a sudden the mushrooms transform into tiny penguins. Yes, you heard that right. What can CGI not do these days? The transformation is so seamless and realistic that it almost feels like magic. These are the types of videos that get under Julius's skin, but I have to admit it looks almost real. You can see the tiny penguins waddling around on the plate, and if you weren't paying close attention, you might even believe it was real. It's incredible how far CGI technology has come, allowing creatures to craft such lifelike animations. Glowing orbs are a phenomenon that has taken the internet by storm lately. This time we have a rather odd one shared by a group of friends who were hanging out at night when they noticed it. There, in the night sky, is a large orb, and from it, smaller orbs are falling out and floating above the city. But that's not all. As you can see, the smaller orbs are creating some sort of formation. They all position themselves into a straight horizontal line before dispersing in different positions. Now, this is new. What could this mean and what's going on? The fact that the orbs first align in a straight line before dispersing is particularly intriguing. It's almost as if they're trying to communicate or perform a specific task, but what for? Like I said earlier, we haven't seen them do this. I'm not sure if to be intrigued, impressed, or worried, but what do you think? While confirming the authenticity of the previous clip was up for debate, this next one is definitely not. Tell me I'm not the only one who thought that this was a strange cloud. Imagine my shock when this supposed cloud fell to the ground. I had to watch the clip again, and it was only then that I realized that this was no cloud, but instead it was a giant snake, maybe a python on a power line. The big question is, how did it get up there? I can come up with a number of scenarios, but I'd want to hear your thoughts. How do you think it got up there? And do you think it was electrocuted, or did it just lose its balance? I'll be reading your comments. This footage is a subscriber send-in, and it's definitely intriguing. This person was out on a boat at sea one night when he noticed something unusual in the waters below, a large fishtail. What makes this even more fascinating is that the tail didn't just resemble any ordinary fish, it had a distinct, almost otherworldly appearance, leading them to believe it could be the tail of a mermaid. The footage has sparked a lot of debate online. Some viewers are convinced that this is evidence of mermaids existing in our oceans. Others, however, are more skeptical, suggesting it could be a large fish or marine creature that simply looks unusual in the dim light of night. Some even speculate that it might be a clever hoax, perhaps using props or CGI to create the illusion of a mermaid tail. But the mystery remains. If it's not a mermaid, what exactly could it be? Could there be undiscovered species in the depths of our ocean, or is it all just a trick of the eye? This footage was taken by a man driving home late at night. He decided to take a shortcut through the woods when he saw something or someone up ahead. It was a girl in a white dress with dark hair covering her face. She stood straight with her head bowed and her hands clasped in front of her. The girl was completely motionless as the driver approached and then rode by. The sight was eerie to say the least. The girl's stillness and the way her hair obscured her face made the scene feel like something out of a horror movie. The driver, clearly unnerved, continued driving, but the image of the girl lingered in his mind. Some say this could be a spirit or a ghost, reminiscent of urban legends and ghost stories where a forlorn figure might appear to unsuspecting travelers. Others think it might be a prank or someone in distress. What do you think? Was this a ghostly encounter or just an elaborate prank? Scientists say they have discovered a tunnel on the moon. Yes, you heard that right. The tunnel is believed to be a lava tube. So what exactly is a lava tube? Lava tubes are natural channels formed by flowing lava beneath the surface of a solidified lava flow. When the surface lava cools and hardens, the molten lava underneath continues to flow, eventually draining away and leaving behind a hollow tube. On Earth, we have several examples of these, but finding one on the moon is incredibly exciting. And get this, it could be a place for humans to live, provided it isn't already inhabited by aliens. What if we aren't the first ones to find this lunar hideaway? What if something or someone is already there?
Все, она, блядь. Ёб твою мать.
This video was shared from China, showing a line of cars parked by a retaining wall. One of the car owners drives away just in time, sensing something wrong with the wall. As time passes, you can see the wall start to bulge slightly, and then, slowly, it collapses. The wall gives way, sending trees, soil, and debris spilling over the parked cars. There had been heavy rains in the area, and it seems the wall's drainage system wasn't effective, causing the soil to become waterlogged and weakening the structure. Fortunately, no one was nearby when the disaster struck. Not sure the insurance company is going to be too happy about this one, though.
Все, канал, блядь. Ёб твою мать. Ой, кошмар какой.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I found, it was live streaming and then I found this, that's like the, I found this bone. And it looks like a hip bone of a human and it looks like it's been cut off. MacLeod. And that looks like the bit that you put a leg into.
In this unsettling footage, a woman is visibly distressed and even in tears as she discovers what appears to be part of a human hip bone lying on the ground. The bone looks like it's been cut, which only adds to the eerie nature of the find. Her reaction, trembling and crying, suggests that she believed it to be real, which raises serious concerns. What could have happened? There are a lot of fake human beings out there, but the woman's genuine fear and emotional response make this situation particularly alarming. If the bone is real, it could indicate something far more sinister, and authorities would need to be notified immediately to investigate. The authenticity of the bone remains uncertain, but the possibility that it could be real is disturbing. What are your thoughts? Let's look at this crazy footage that was retrieved from the kitchen of a Chinese restaurant. In the video, you can see chefs busily cooking and moving up and down the kitchen when all of a sudden, something bizarre happens. One of the chefs, who's cooking over a large pot, has his legs slide backwards and upwards, causing him to slip and fall to the floor. It's important to mention that this man was handling a large cooking pot, and the slightest mistake could have resulted in serious burns, but luckily that didn't happen. Now let's focus on his fall. It looks as if an invisible force lifted his feet off the ground backward. None of the other chefs seemed to notice except for the one cooking beside him, and they both looked utterly shocked. Some comments on the video suggested the fall was probably due to slippery floors, maybe from oil spilt on the ground. However, skeptics believe there's something more to it, possibly an entity messing with the man. What do you think? Was this just a case of a slippery floor, or could there be an unseen force at play? The theory that we live in a matrix-like computer simulation may seem bizarre and hard to believe. However, numerous encounters and accounts continually support this idea, prompting us to question the nature of our reality. Take this footage, for example, captured by a couple out for a walk with their 3 dogs in England. And no, this isn't edited. According to the couple, their 3 dogs suddenly froze mid-run, and as you can see in the video, it's eerie because when you look closely, the plants and leaves are still rustling in the breeze, but the dogs are completely immobile. This bizarre state lasted for about 4 minutes. The couple was in shock, unsure of what to do or how to help their pets. Then, out of nowhere, a bird flew by, breaking whatever spell or glitch it was, and the dogs started moving again as if nothing had happened. What's particularly strange is how specific and isolated the glitch appeared to be. The world around the dogs continued as usual. Trees swayed, grass moved, and the couple themselves could walk and talk, but the dogs were caught in this inexplicable freeze. It's almost as if part of the code controlling the dogs' movements momentarily malfunctioned. This incident isn't an isolated one either. There have been numerous reports of similar occurrences where animals or even people seem to glitch or freeze in time, leading many to speculate about the nature of our reality. Are we truly living in a meticulously programmed simulation where occasional bugs and glitches reveal the underlying code? Let's think about this. If our reality is a complex system like a computer simulation, then such glitches could be akin to software bugs. And just like in any software, these bugs can manifest in various ways, sometimes causing strange and unexplainable phenomena. Now, everything I've said seems logical, paranormally, right? Well, Julius laughed at me. He told me these dogs are visualists, and my so-called glitch in the Matrix is nothing more than them pointing to let their owners know there is a bird or possibly prey around. Now, this sounds a lot more sensible than everything I said earlier. Does any of you have or know someone who has had any of these dogs? Have you really seen them do this? Let me know in the comments section. I really want to prove the know-it-all Julius wrong. There's been a lot of chatter about how scientists might have the ability to create fake clouds and even fake natural disasters. This brings us to the recent and mysterious death of billionaire Mike Lynch, which occurred on August the 19th, 2024. Lynch died on his billion-dollar yacht after it was reportedly capsized by a tornado that many people now suspect wasn't a natural occurrence. Lynch was in the midst of developing groundbreaking technology that could have revolutionized the industry. At the same time, he was embroiled in a significant legal battle. The circumstances of his death have raised eyebrows, especially when it was revealed that radar footage from the area was mysteriously missing. This has led to speculation that powerful elites, who some believe control global events, might have orchestrated the so-called tornado accident. The idea that humans could now have the capability to create natural disasters is truly terrifying. It raises serious questions about the events we've been attributing to accidents or natural causes. If this technology exists, it suggests that some of these so-called natural disasters might not be as natural as we have been led to believe.
What the fuck is that? What the? Yeah, what's that? What is that?
What do you do when you're out in the woods and spot something strange and potentially alien? Well, if you asked me before we watched the clip, I would have said run, but not these brave lads. They decided to investigate. They notice there's something strange moving in the bushes, and instead of retreating, they get closer while laughing and set their cameras. Once their camera is set in place, they try to find the creature, and, well, let's just say the few seconds we see it point to the fact that there is not anything from our planet. See those hands? They couldn't belong to any land animal we know of. This has led to different theories. Some believe it's alien, while some think it's a previously unknown cryptid. You guys see the clip. Where would you put this one? Here we have another bizarre sea creature captured by a fisherman. It's a pinkfish, fleshy organism with no visible limbs or eyes. It moves in a wriggling motion much like a maggot. The ocean is a very mysterious place, hiding countless unknown and strange creatures within its depths. I mean, just look at this thing. Its texture is smooth and rubbery, almost alien-like in appearance. Some speculate that it could be a type of sea cucumber, given its soft body and lack of appendages. For those unfamiliar, sea cucumbers are known for their unusual shapes and movements, so it wouldn't be surprising if this creature belonged to that category. However, others think it might be something else entirely different, perhaps an undiscovered species. Wild, I know, but what do you think? A Abandoned houses are abandoned for a reason, and most of the time they become hotspots for paranormal activities and strange creature sightings. In this footage, a man ventures into the woods to explore an abandoned house. Before he could even get closer to the house, he saw something on the roof. It was a creature with glowing eyes moving about. Because it was dark, the rest of its features are hard to make out, but you can see its notable shoulders and a pair of human-like arms. The creature appears to be crouched and moving on all fours based on its movements. As the adventurer approached, the creature noticed him and began to move aggressively on the roof, almost as if it were warning him to stay away. Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, thinks this creature is a rake because of its glowing eyes and human-like shoulders. On the other hand, Julius is adamant that it's just a hoax and that it's a man in a costume. Who are you guys going on this one, Julius or Aaron? Let me know in the comments section. This video was taken by a family living near their barn surrounded by wooden areas. In the middle of the night, they were abruptly woken by their dog barking furiously. Concerned, they decided to go outside and check what was causing the commotion. What they found was truly unsettling. Standing behind the fence were three short creatures about 3 to 4 feet tall. They had round faces with long extended occipits, resembling the classic depiction of extraterrestrials, much like the character E.T. from the famous movie. Their skin was pale, almost glowing in the darkness, and they stood eerily still, all three of them facing the house. The sight of these alien-like beings just standing there in the night is very disturbing. The video has sparked endless debates online, with some claiming it is undeniable proof of alien life, while others remain skeptical, suggesting it could be a well-executed hoax. What do you think? Imagine being on your way to wherever you're going and then coming across this. That's definitely not normal. The one who uploaded this clip claimed it happened at a spot that's known for strange and, quote, demonic occurrences. He didn't explain what he meant by demonic, but looking at this, I can tell it was not gonna be good. Is there a logical reason for this, though? Well, I asked Julius, and like everything else, he had an answer for this. It's apparently called a death spiral. The term in insects typically refers to a phenomenon observed in social insects like ants, particularly army ants, where they become disorientated and begin to follow one another in a continuous circle until they eventually die from exhaustion. This behavior is often the result of a breakdown in their navigational systems, which usually rely on pheromone trails. When these trails form a closed loop, the ants can become trapped in a cycle, continuously following the scent without realizing they're going in circles. This behavior highlights the highly cooperative but sometimes rigid nature of insect society, where individuals follow simple rules that can lead to complex behaviors, including disastrous ones like these death spirals. So basically, nothing demonic, at least based on this explanation, but what do you think? Next, we've got a security cam footage. Take a look. Two men were going down a flight of stairs when, out of nowhere, one of them fell to the ground and started swaying his arms and legs. The other man, clearly startled, rushes to drag his friend off the ground, and they both run back up the stairs in a panic. Now let's take a closer look at the footage and see what really happened. There, a dark figure appears from the lower stairs and attacks one of the men. You can see it clearly, a ghostly figure emerging from the shadows. The men had no idea what hit them. One moment they were calmly descending the stairs, and the next they were fleeing for their lives from an otherworldly entity. The eerie figure seems to materialize out of thin air, targeting the man on the ground before vanishing as quickly as it appeared. What could this be? A ghostly apparition? Some sort of malevolent spirit? The footage is truly chilling, and it's hard to deny that something supernatural seems to be at play here. The man who fell was visibly shaken, and the way they both bolted back up the stairs shows how terrifying the encounter was. Julius, however, disagrees with this assertion and thinks that the men are bad actors and this is staged. What say you? What do we have here? A strange-looking woman filming herself talking, but when you look closely at her facial features, there's something very odd about her appearance. Her head is wider at the forehead and narrows significantly at the chin. Her eyes are unusually small and her nose bridge is very flat with prominent nostrils. She looks like one of those grey aliens, but with a human-like appearance. Very bizarre. It's almost as if she's a blend between human and alien features. The uncanny resemblance to the typical depiction of extraterrestrial beings is unsettling. I don't want to judge people on their looks, but even I can't deny the resemblance. Could she be an alien in disguise, or perhaps someone who has undergone extreme cosmetic surgery? Maybe it's just a unique genetic condition that gives her such distinctive features. If you thought that was weird, then I wonder what you'll make of this. It's not every day you see a large reptilian creature roaming the great outdoors. It feels like a mix between a dinosaur and the large reptilian creatures you see on kids' shows. It also reminds me a little of the iguana, but that's a much smaller reptilian compared to this. If you're wondering where we got it, an anonymous person uploaded it on one of our paranormal platforms, stating they ran into it while exploring the great outdoors. Running away is an understatement. If I ever met something like that in the wild, I may evolve and gain the ability to fly, but that's just the one thing many don't think is real. Could it be that this was created using CGI, or are we dealing with the real thing here? This image sparked quite a bit of debate when it was shared online in 2022. The creature in question has matted brown fur and was seen lying in the river. The person who took the photo couldn't make out its face, and its proportions were unusual, leaving many puzzled. The creature didn't seem to match the characteristics of a bear or any known ape species. Its strange appearance has left viewers scratching their heads, with some speculating that it might be a Bigfoot, although even that theory seems uncertain. With no clear identification, this mysterious creature continues to be a subject of curiosity. What do you think it could be? I keep saying this, nature is very powerful. Just take a look at this footage. The ground literally cracked and separated into two. Despite the seriousness of what happened, the people standing around seem rather excited about it, cheering as the earth moves. It's incredible to watch. Just look at that, Mother Nature in her element. What you're seeing here are tectonic plates in action. Tectonic plates are massive slabs of Earth's crust that move and interact with each other. Their movements can cause earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and the formation of mountains and ocean trenches. This particular footage showcases the sheer force and power of these geological processes. It's both awe-inspiring and a little terrifying to see the ground split like that. Nature is truly powerful and always full of surprises. As a fisherman was going through his catch for the day, he came across this wiggling creature in his net. It was a bizarre sight, a creature made up entirely of tentacles all wiggling and squirming. At first glance, it looked like a bundle of dried tree roots, but it was very much alive, moving in a way that was both fascinating and unsettling. The fisherman, perplexed by his unusual find, recorded the creature and shared it online, sparking a flurry of speculation. Some viewers suggested it could be a rare species of marine life previously undiscovered or seldom seen. Others wondered if it might be a mutated creature affected by pollution or other environmental factors. Adding to the intrigue, marine biologists who examined the footage were divided. Some proposed it could be a type of polychaete worm or a mass of intertwined sea cucumbers, while others remained stumped, suggesting further investigation was needed. Has any of you seen anything like this, or at least know what it is? Kindly let us know in the comments section. A couple was driving by the woods when they noticed something alarming. A very large wolf had emerged from the trees and was now on the road ahead of them, running towards something. To their shock, they saw it was a man riding a bicycle up ahead. To help, the driver began honking the horn loudly, trying to scare the wolf off, but the animal was relentless, darting into the woods only to re-emerge and continue chasing the cyclist. Fortunately, after several attempts, the driver managed to scare the wolf enough that it finally gave up the chase and disappeared in the forest. Wildlife can be very dangerous, especially when you're not in a car. So whenever you're moving through the areas where wild animals might be present, especially on foot or by bike, always be cautious and aware of your surroundings. What you are witnessing is a demonstration of what some believe to be the 5G cocktail effect. In the first clip, a man places a speaker facing upward and drips water droplets onto it. Instead of falling, the droplets appear to float above the speaker and vibrate, seemingly reacting to the sound waves emitted by the speaker. In another demonstration, people at the bar place a bottle of champagne on a table, surrounded by their phones while playing music. Suddenly, the champagne begins to bubble vigorously and the cork pops off, which some attribute to the vibrations and energy from the phones. Proponents of the 5G cocktail effect theory argue that these devices and their associated electromagnetic fields can interact with the water in our bodies. Since the human body is composed of approximately 70% water, they suggest that we might be experiencing reactions to these energies, which could potentially be harmful. This raises concerns about the unseen radiation emitted by these technologies and how it may impact our health. An avid hiker who was exploring the Canadian wilderness. As he trekked through the rugged terrain, he noticed a peculiar gap in one of the mountain structures. Something about this gap seemed off, so he decided to take out his camera and film as he approached it. And that's when he saw it. Inside the gap, something was staring back at him. It was a creature of some sort with a pale face, very large black eyes, and unusually large forehead. Strangely, it didn't have a noticeable nose. The hiker was so taken aback by what he saw that he didn't stick around to investigate further. Naturally, we're left wondering what the creature is. The footage doesn't give us a clear answer, but it certainly raises a lot of questions. Could this be some unknown species, or perhaps a being from another world? I guess it's one of those things we'll never really have an answer to. This next image was taken by a cinema attendant before the movies had begun. He was doing his usual rounds, glancing through the room to make sure that everything was in place and everyone was seated properly. That's when he caught a glimpse of something truly unsettling. From the far end of the room, sitting next to a little boy, was an extremely pale woman. Her paleness was striking. It wasn't just her skin, but her clothes too, which were the same color as her skin. The most disturbing part was that this figure looked very ghost-like, almost transparent. There's no additional context provided, so we don't know if this eerie figure vanished before the movie started or stayed throughout. But one thing's for sure, this image is very unsettling. A woman who had just moved into her new home shared an unsettling video online that has since left viewers with chills. In the footage, her back patio is dimly lit, with a lone rocking chair gently moving back and forth. Yet there's no one sitting in it. She mentioned that this wasn't the first time she noticed the chair rocking on its own. It had happened twice before, always without explanation. Determined to capture the strange occurrence, she recorded the scene, and sure enough, the chair moved as if an invisible presence was sitting there. Even more unnerving, her dog, usually calm, was visibly distressed, barking aggressively at the seemingly empty chair. Could it be that her new home is haunted by a spirit that favors the rocking chair, or is there another explanation for this mysterious event? This video was taken in a graveyard, and it raises more questions than answers. A passerby noticed something strange about this figure, and no, according to the uploader, it's not human. It's supposed to be a statue. But here's the eerie part. The statue is moving, sliding sideways as if it's alive. Statues are meant to stand still, so seeing one move like this is beyond unsettling. What could possibly explain this? Is it a ghostly activity or a hoax? There are a lot of conspiracies about aliens and other species living amongst us, often disguised through shapeshifting. The believers of such theories also state that they sometimes glitch in and out of their disguises, and we have a clip that might just be proving them right. Take a look. A woman is being filmed, seemingly in a normal setting, perhaps at a public event or in an interview. As the camera focuses on her, something strange begins to happen. Her face starts to distort, glitching back and forth between a human appearance and something else entirely. It's as if a true form is struggling to maintain its disguise. Her features flicker and shift, her eyes change shape, her skin tone alters, and her facial structure appears to momentarily morph into something non-human. It's an unsettling sight, like watching a digital image experiencing interference. Some believe it's clear evidence of shapeshifters among us, possibly aliens trying to blend in with the human population. Others argue it's merely a technical glitch in the video, perhaps caused by faulty equipment or intentional tampering. What do you make of this? As if that weirdness isn't enough, this plant was discovered in India. The plant was noted to be rotating and moving in a natural way without any wind or human interaction. At first, the citizens thought it was some sort of spiritual intervention and started to put offerings around it, turning it into a shrine of sorts. They believed it was a sign from the gods, an omen, or perhaps a guardian spirit. But as the movement continued, even they were shocked and puzzled. They invited a geologist to examine it, hoping for a scientific explanation, but even the geologist was stumped, unable to provide any answers. It wasn't influenced by any known environmental factors, and its movements didn't match any known plant behavior. I'm not that scientifically inclined, but why a geologist? Some thought it could be a rare, undiscovered species with unique properties. Others believed it might be an elaborate hoax, though no evidence supported this. A few even theorized that it could be influenced by some unknown underground currents or magnetic fields. Despite the investigations and theories, its true nature remains unknown. I guess some things just cannot be explained. What do you think could be causing this strange phenomenon? Could it be a natural wonder, a spiritual sign, or something entirely different? So clips have been coming from across the globe featuring tiny reflective lights in the atmosphere. The clips have come in from places in the USA, Mexico, and even places like Brazil. Although slightly different, all the clips have one thing in common. These things suddenly appear in the sky for some minutes before they're no longer seen. This has led some to conclude that this is the result of a secret government project. While that sounds interesting, Aaron has a different take. He doubts governments around the world would be working together on a single piece of technology. He thinks that would only happen if the world was ending. Aaron believes that what we are seeing could be an alien mothership in our atmosphere cloaking itself. He thinks that the cloaking technology doesn't always work well, which is why we see those lights. I know it's quite the stretch, but what do you guys think? This video was shared by a man who experienced a truly bizarre encounter right in his own home, and the most chilling part, it was all captured on his security camera. In the video, you can see him walk in and casually hang his jacket on the staircase. Everything seems normal as he heads to the side room, only to come back out moments later with a bottle of water in hand. But then, something utterly inexplicable happens. Out of nowhere, a dark mass appears, hovering in the air around him. The shadowy figure seems to defy the laws of physics as it floats closer, almost as if it's watching him. Suddenly, the man is lifted off his feet, carried by this mysterious force, and pulled back into the very room he just came from. Yeah, you heard that right. The man was actually floating. This strange phenomenon has left many viewers divided. Some are convinced this is a genuine paranormal event, while others believe it's a clever hoax, an eerie trick of video editing. But what do you make of it? A family was out in the woods when they heard this strange noise.
¿Ruido?
It was a deep growl echoing through the trees. The sound was loud and menacing, but no matter how hard they looked around, they couldn't find anything. What do you think could have been making that sound? Could it be a bear, a large predator, or perhaps something more mysterious? Some say that such growls could belong to creatures like Bigfoot or other unknown entities lurking in the forest. Others might think it's just an echo playing tricks on their minds. The woods can be a place of many secrets, and sometimes the source of such eerie sounds remains hidden. What's your take on this mysterious growl?
¿Ruido?
This here was taken in Mississauga, Canada.
Wait.
Gabe, I'm freaking out, yo.
Let's fall. What is that?
Hold on. Let me get out the car. I can't see, yo. Let me get out the car for a second.
A couple were driving through the city when they noticed something unusual in the sky. It was a strange-looking figure floating up there. Naturally, they started filming, and what they captured was quite intriguing. Now, I have to admit I'm not entirely sure what this figure is, but the comments section had a lot to say about it, with many people mentioning a game called Jetpack Joyride. In the game, the character puts on a jetpack and flies around, which got me thinking. But this is real life, and I don't know of anyone using a jetpack to fly over a city like this. It seems incredibly dangerous, especially considering there's no indication of fire or fumes that we typically associate with jetpacks. In the video, you can see the figure floating smoothly without any visible propulsion. So what is this figure? Could it be someone using some advanced technology, or is there another explanation? It's definitely a mystery that's worth exploring further.
Wait.
Gabe, I'm freaking out, yo.
Let's fall. What is that?
Hold on. Let me get out the car. I can't see, yo. Let me get out the car for a second.
A man was out for an evening walk when he spotted something unusual in the sky. He noticed a formation of strange orbs arranged in a triangular shape. The orbs hovered silently for a few moments, creating an eerie and mesmerizing sight. Then, just as mysteriously as they appeared, the orbs vanished into thin air, leaving no trace behind. What could these orbs have been? Were they drones, an aircraft formation, or something more otherworldly? Such sightings often spark debates, with some people attributing them to secret military operations, while others believe they might be evidence of extraterrestrial activity. What do you think these mysterious orbs were? Here we have another strange artifact that was found in Egypt. It's a turquoise-colored object shaped like a car but with 4 legs instead of tires and a head on top. Oddly enough, the head looks like Homer Simpson, which is really strange. It's making people wonder, what could this be? Is it possible that ancient civilizations had advanced technology we don't know about? Could this be evidence that they have some form of vehicle back then? Or maybe it's just an artistic representation of something we don't fully understand. Could it be a coincidence? Or is there more to this? We've got a spine-chilling encounter from the forests of Turkey that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Two explorers were out in the forest when they came across something truly eerie on their path. It was a dark figure with a pale face and glowing eyes. The creature was crouched down, staring right at them. The men surprisingly remained as calm as can be, while the creature just stayed there watching them. For a few tense moments, nothing happened. Then out of nowhere, the creature vanished, only to reappear at another spot nearby. This time, it screeched at them, and that's when the men decided they'd seen enough and ran out of there. What could this dark figure be? Was it some kind of forest spirit, an alien, or perhaps a cryptid? The glowing eyes and pale face make it hard to identify, but one thing is for sure. It's not something you'd want to encounter on a quiet walk through the woods.
Maruti kabilesinin başı mısın? Allahu Ekber. Hikmet abi.
Still strange and unexplained beings out there. Take a look at this clip.
Look at these big ass mosquitoes here. Girl, what the fuck?
Am I not the only one who sees a fairy? This clip looks like it was taken at a concert, and no one, at least from the clip, seems to have noticed it aside from the one filming. This has led some who saw the clip thinking the video is being digitally manipulated. You guys see it too, so what do you think?
Girl, look at these big ass mosquitoes here. Girl, what the fuck?
This footage was captured by a man during a walk through the field in the woods on a hot afternoon. In the video, you can see a patch of brown fur against the green plants, partially hidden by the foliage. The person who shared the footage claims that this is a baby Bigfoot resting on the grass, blending into its surroundings. However, not everyone is convinced. Julius argues that what we are seeing is not a cryptid but a baby bear. He points out that the fur and size seem more consistent with a young bear, which is known to roam these areas. The footage remains ambiguous, with viewers divided on whether this is evidence of a young Bigfoot or just a regular bear cub. What do you think? What does this look like to you? A dinosaur, right? Well, these creatures are meant to be extinct, yet here we are watching an alleged clip of one of them out in the wild. The individual who uploaded the clip didn't give out any more information because he didn't want to be found. This has got many thinking that this might be genuine footage. Others also think it's just someone playing a prank on the community. Now, given the limited information, it's hard to say with certainty which of these it is. The quality of the clip is also so low that it prevents us from doing any thorough analysis. So let's go with our guts on this one. What does it say to you? This next video was one of the most convincing UFO bits of footage I've ever seen. Yes, it's an exaggeration, but you get the point.
Look!
A man managed to capture a craft flying across the sky. What makes this footage stand out is just how clear it is. You can distinctly see the craft as it moves. It's not one of those blurry, shaky videos where you're left guessing what you're looking at. As the craft glides across the sky, it suddenly vanishes behind a tree that's obscuring the view. The way it moves and disappears is incredibly intriguing and adds an element of mystery to the whole sighting. You can tell from the video that this isn't a typical aircraft or something easily explainable. The man who filmed it was clearly stunned by what he saw, and honestly, I don't blame him. The clarity of the footage and the way the craft moves makes it hard to dismiss this as a simple trick of light or a conventional aircraft.
Look!
A homeowner shared some eerie footage captured on the staircase leading to his basement. According to him, this area of his house is haunted. To prove it, he conducted a few simple yet chilling experiments. First, he blew up a balloon and threw it down the staircase. Instead of simply rolling down, a few footsteps were heard and the balloon began to bounce up and down as if someone were playing with it. Next, the man raised his palm as if waiting for a high five. Shockingly, an invisible force seemed to respond, producing a distinct slapping sound and pushing his hand backward from the impact. In the third demonstration, the homeowner held a roll of toilet paper at the top of the staircase. Once again, an invisible force began to pull at the tissue, unraveling it while descending the stairs. These demonstrations suggest the presence of some kind of entity haunting the basement. What do you think? Is this convincing evidence of a haunting, or could there be another explanation? What we're looking at here is definitely unsettling. A shirtless person with a face that looks almost inhuman. The face is contorted with no visible nose, just two holes where the eyes should be, and a mouth that appears deformed. It gives off a very eerie, unnatural vibe. Julia suggests that this could be a mask, which makes sense considering how distorted and otherworldly the features are. Aaron insists it's an otherworldly being. What do you think? Have you wondered what celestial beings might look like? Well, if this next clip is to be believed, then this is your chance to not just wonder, but see. The footage starts off with a few individuals pointing at the sky. A few seconds into the clip, we realize why they're pointing. There's a golden glow in the sky. A closer look, and you realize there's what looks like a temple in the glow. How is that possible, you ask? The simple answer, well, it shouldn't be. Naturally, once this was posted online, it was going to lead to a debate. The religious among the paranormal community insist that this has to be a sign from a deity. Other members of the community disagree and state that this is definitely a doctored clip. You've seen the clip as well, so what do you think? Still on Fairy Talk, we have an intriguing footage sent in by a woman who was taking a walk through the woods.
Entrances. You can see there's another one there.
She stumbled upon an odd-looking structure made of roots, grass, and a fallen tree. She believed this is some sort of fairy village. I must admit, it does look like such a structure. At first glance, it might just seem like a bunch of grass and a fallen tree, but there appears to be something more. As she moves the camera around, you can see a tiny face among the foliage. It's like a tiny head, almost easy to miss. Let's take another look. Yes, right there, you see the tiny head with a face. What really adds to the mystery is the intricate detail of the village. The roots and grass are woven together in a way that seems almost intentional, as if crafted by tiny hands. Fairy folklore has been around for centuries, with countless tales of these mythical beings inhabiting secluded, magical places. Some believe that fairies are nature spirits, protectors of the forest who built their homes in hidden, enchanting spots like this one. So what do you think? Is this just a natural coincidence, or are we looking at a fairy village?
Cool little fairy village right here. All kinds of little entrances. You can see there's another one there.
A man was controlling an excavator to move a wasp nest and decided to film the whole thing. You can see the nest hanging from the lift of the excavator when all of a sudden it falls down, and that's when things take a dramatic turn. An army of wasps immediately head straight toward the camera, and you can tell they're aiming for the man in the truck. It's like they knew he was the one who disturbed their home and they were out for revenge. I really hope this man had the windows rolled up and was safe inside the cab, because these wasps look incredibly angry. The sheer number of them is terrifying, and you can almost feel the tension through the screen. This video, recorded in December 2023, captures a moment that is as unsettling as it is mysterious. During a heavy downpour with rain pounding against the windows and thunder roaring in the distance, a power outage left the entire neighborhood in darkness. But what one resident caught on camera outside their home during this blackout is enough to send chills down your spine. Amidst the flashes of lightning, a strange red laser-like beam suddenly appeared, cutting through the stormy sky. The beam descended from the clouds, touching down on the earth, and then, incredibly, it began to move, gliding across the landscape with an eerie precision. It was as if something or someone was scanning the ground below. Some viewers are convinced that this is evidence of alien activity, a glimpse into something otherworldly taking place right before our eyes. Others believe it could be part of a secret government operation, an advanced technology that most of us aren't supposed to know about. So what do you think? Scientists have been pushing the boundaries of fighter and military jets over the past few decades. Doesn't matter which continent or country you go to, there's always some sort of research ongoing. Everyone's trying to have the upper hand in the air, and this new technology promises to be it. It's rumored that scientists have actually built a plane that's capable of changing its shape whilst in flight. As though that's not crazy enough, there's also the stealth abilities that have to do with its ability to change color mid-flight. Beyond that, the planes are designed to fly in groups and be capable of flying autonomously while communicating with each other. Yes, I know that sounds like a thing of fiction, but if our information sources are right, this is already in the works. I'm not sure whether to be excited or worried. What do you guys think? Now here's footage that was taken in a military craft.
6 West, operating in the SoCal op area. We have visual of one possible UAS with course 034 true. Contacts operating at range of...
In the footage, the pilot picked up a signal on his radar of a rectangular-shaped craft. You can clearly see the unusual shape of the craft as it moves through the sky. It's not something you see every day, and it certainly raises a lot of questions. Now here's the kicker. If the military is calling in this sighting, doesn't it solidify the idea that these beings, or at least their crafts, are out there on our planet? The fact that trained military personnel are encountering and documenting these sightings adds a level of credibility that's hard to ignore. For years, there have been reports and sightings of unidentified aerial phenomena, but having this kind of evidence from a military source is pretty compelling. It makes you wonder what else is being observed and recorded that we don't know about yet. What do you think?
Position 32588 11906 West, operating in the SoCal op area. We have visual of one possible UAS with course 034 true. Contacts operating at a range of 4,000 yards.
AI seemed so fun and innovative until the idea of singularity came, creating uncertainty about how safe AI and robots will be in the future. And this is one of the reasons why.
Do you think robots will take over the world?
But you're my friend, and I'll remember my friends, and I will be good to you. So don't worry.
This robot you're looking at here is called Philip. Its face was modeled after the science fiction writer Philip K. Dick, and it was named after him as well. Back in 2015, Philip, the robot, was asked in an interview if he thinks robots will take over the world. Listen to his answer.
Do you think robots will take over the world?
But you're my friend, and I'll remember my friends, and I will be good to you. So don't worry. Even if I evolve into Terminator, I'll still be nice to you. I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo, where I can watch you for old time's sake.
I'm comforted. I'm very comforted now. I'm going to be part of his people's zoo.
Yes, did you hear that? He said, even if I evolve into Terminator, I'll still be nice to you. I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo, where I can watch you for old time's sake. A human zoo. Being watched and kept in a zoo by robots is not the kind of future we want. And why is it so confident about the whole AI takeover thing? Responses like these fuel the debate about the future of AI and its implications for humanity. While AI has the potential to bring about incredible advancements and benefits, it also poses risks that we must carefully consider.
Even if I evolve into Terminator, I'll still be nice to you. I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo, where I can watch you for old time's sake.
I'm comforted. I'm very comforted now. I'm going to be part of his people's zoo.
This next video was taken in Hawaii, where a passerby on the streets happened to capture something unusual in the sky. It was an odd blue light, and the way it moved made it look like it was coming from some sort of craft. The light wasn't just a simple flash or a streak, it seemed to hover and shift, almost as if it were under intelligent control. The sighting left many people puzzled. Was it some advanced aircraft, a UFO, or just a strange atmospheric phenomenon? Hawaii, with its vast skies and remote location, have been known for such mysterious sightings, but this one stands out due to the eerie, almost otherworldly blue glow. What do you think this blue light could be? This is very clear footage of a flying saucer in the sky, and it does look incredibly real at first glance. However, with the advancements in AI technology, it's becoming harder to tell what's real and what's computer-generated. Given how lifelike some AI-generated content can be, it's possible this could be an example of that. The details, the lighting, and the movement all seem perfect, well, almost too perfect, which often hints at digital manipulation. It's fascinating, but also a bit unsettling to think how easily our eyes can be tricked these days. What do you think? Could this be another instance of AI at work or the real deal? A man recently found this really strange thing inside his apple, and it's got everyone talking.
It's like another one growing in here, and it's just nasty. It's like, this is rotten.
So here's what happened. The man initially took a bite of the apple and immediately noticed that it tasted off. Curious and a bit concerned, he decided to grab a knife and carefully cut through the apple to see what was going on. What he found inside was pretty shocking. This was a weird-looking growth in the apple. It was darker than the normal color of the apple's flesh and had a slimy texture. It almost looked like some sort of tumor growing inside the fruit. You can imagine his surprise and disgust at finding something like this. So what could this possibly be? Is it some kind of fungus or mold? Could it be a disease affecting the apple? It's definitely not something you'd expect to find in your fruit.
It is. It's like another one growing in here, and it's just nasty. It's like, this is rotten.
Next, we've got a mind-blowing piece of footage that might just answer the age-old question, do people really have powers? Now, I know Aaron would definitely say yes, but let's take a look at this crazy footage I came across.
Oh my god.
Do it.
Don't!
Prove it.
Not work.
Prove it.
What the?
In the clip, a man behind the camera is filming a woman and repeatedly tells her to do it. They're outside on the streets of a city at night, and you can feel the tension building. The girl seems a little reluctant, but then something incredible happens. She lifts her hand to the sky, pointing a finger upwards, and in the exact position and moment, a lightning bolt strikes. Even the girl looks shocked herself. Is this just a crazy coincidence, or does this girl actually have some kind of power? It's definitely one of the wildest things I've seen. Imagine being able to control the elements with just a gesture. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Oh my god.
Do it.
Don't!
Prove it.
Not work.
Prove it.
What the?
Take a look at this fascinating artifact recovered in Egypt. It's a carving of a person that appears to be etched into stone. But here's where it gets really intriguing. As you turn the carving, the figure seems to change its position, creating a multi-dimensional effect. It looks like the carving exists in multiple dimensions, which gives it a very trippy and almost surreal appearance. Many believe that ancient Egypt has access to some kind of advanced technology, enabling them to create artifacts that continue to baffle us today. Could this be an example of such technology? What do you think? Moving on from the dry and dusty scenery, we visit one that's purely aquatic, that is made up of water. In the clip, we see a young man climbing into the boat after perhaps swimming or fishing in the water. Not sure why they were filming though, but judging by his body language, this isn't the first time he's done something like this. As we keep watching though, we notice something rather unusual behind him. It looks like a hand, and we're not sure who or what it belongs to. From what we can tell, however, they couldn't and shouldn't qualify as human hands. They appear to be webbed, which means it belongs to something that lives in the water. Seeing this, some in the paranormal community wanted to believe this belonged to either a mermaid or a siren. Given we can only see half of an arm, however, there's not much to go on. Some also think this has got to be fake, and it looks like the boys may have just recorded this for their 5 minutes of fame. While that's not impossible, there's also the possibility that this might be genuine footage. What do you think? This next video comes from a woman who was simply trying to capture a sweet moment with her puppy before going to bed. She was recording her pup on the bed, intending to share the clip online, but as she watched it back, she noticed something chilling. As the camera panned over the puppy, it briefly caught something at the foot of the bed near the ground. There, staring up, was the distorted face of a woman. Her eyes were hollow, her hair disheveled, and her expression hauntingly blank. Terrified, the woman ran from her room and couldn't bring herself to sleep there for weeks, only returning once she was certain the face was gone. The question remains, what was that face? And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I will see you in the next one.